Welcome to the YouTube video. Welcome to the YouTube video today. We're going to be watching some stuff, true crime or not. This stuff comes from the reaction channel of my Discord. So if you're not a part of that, please join it and give me some cool videos that you thought were really interesting or something that you think might be interesting. Yeah. And if you're watching this on YouTube, you missed the stream, but I stream almost every day. So make sure you follow me on Twitch and you might be able to watch some of these live, like all these lovely people over here trying to get me demonetized. So play the intro. Welcome back. So we're going to watch a video about the Slenderman Stabber. Actually, two, because I also found the body cam footage of them being apprehended. If you don't know what this is, a couple of years ago, I don't remember what year, don't quote me, a group of teenage girls lured their friend into the forest and stabbed her, I want to say, over 30 times. Their defense was that Slenderman told them to do it. I'm not joking. They said that Slenderman told them to, like the video game character Slenderman, told them to take their friend to the forest and stab them 27 times. Somehow they survived, which is great. This person, I don't know about the other ones, but this person in particular got sentenced to not guilty by reason of insanity. So they've been at a psychiatric facility since this happened. I don't know what happened to the other person. I don't recall. About a week ago, they went missing. They've been caught at this point, but that's context. I don't know what this video will give beyond that, just in case people haven't heard of this. We'll see if this is in any way interesting to watch, but if not, we have the 25-minute body cam footage of them being arrested as well. So.
Yep, the girl who stabbed her friend for Slenderman recently went on the run. 2025, the insanity never stops. I covered the Slenderman stabbing case on this channel a couple of years ago, and I never expected to discuss it again, but some truly questionable decisions by a judge and some medical professionals has resulted in a manhunt for an attempted killer.
It's been more than 24 hours since Geyser was last seen at her group home on Cronky Drive in Madison. Police say her whereabouts are still unknown at this hour, and tonight we're learning more about the timeline between when she cut off that GPS monitor and when authorities were alerted.
In order to understand how we got here, though, you need a recap of what happened in this case, and you need to learn about some controversial details about the Slenderman Stabber's punishment. The Slenderman stabbing case involved three 12-year-old girls, Morgan Geyser, Anissa Wire, and their victim, Peyton Leitner, all three from Waukesha, Wisconsin. They were friends, and the air quotes are needed here, which you'll find out why shortly. Morgan and Anissa had a disturbing fixation with online creepypasta stories, specifically the legend of Slenderman. And when Slenderman wanted them to execute a proxy killing, they were happy to oblige if it would appease him.
I might as well just say it. We were trying to kill her.
In May of 2014, in Waukesha, Wisconsin, Morgan and Anissa held a sleepover and invited their friend, Peyton. They had all hung out many times before, but you could say that Peyton wasn't as tight with them as the other two were with each other. Little did Peyton...
Where did Slenderman ask that in the original game? What were they collecting the pages and he was like, stab your friend 27 times? I don't remember that part.
Peyton know their reasoning behind her being invited was so that they could kill her and use her as a sacrifice to Slenderman to make him happy. Morgan and Anissa have gone on record claiming that they believed if they didn't commit violence for Slenderman, he was going to kill them and their families. So the demented duo lures Peyton away to a nearby park the morning after their slumber party, and that's where Morgan produces a knife and stabs Peyton 19 times. They leave her for dead and flee into the woods. Badly wounded and bleeding out, Peyton crawls up to a nearby roadside and is miraculously noticed by a passing cyclist who promptly calls 911. And because of this, she actually manages to get help and survive the attack. Several hours later, Morgan and Anissa would be found miles away walking down Interstate 94, and they were taken into custody for attempted homicide-related charges. Something that would become clear when it came to prosecuting these two 12-year-olds is that Morgan seemingly had no remorse for what she did, at least initially. During her interrogation, she remained cold, detached, and calmly explained that the only reason she did what she did was to appease Slenderman. It had to be done. You could say that her attitude was that of a hitman.
I might as well just say it. We were trying to kill her.
What did you do next?
I already told you.
What was that?
Stab, 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 stab.
On the other hand, Anissa was very much immediately remorseful, with detectives noting her being visibly upset, crying, and asking if Peyton had survived the attack. She even reportedly let out a sigh of relief when they told her that the girl was still alive. It became clear early on that Morgan was the crazier of this bunch and Anissa was more of a naive accomplice. The courts would certainly see it this way too. Now, considering the whole Slenderman told me to kill people element of the story and the fact that they were both 12 years old at the time, it might not be all too surprising for you to learn that both of them were found not guilty by reason of insanity. But they wouldn't be turned loose after that. Wisconsin law requires those given a not guilty by insanity ruling to be institutionalized by the state. Anissa was initially committed to serve 25 years under the custody of the Wisconsin Department of Health Services, whereas the knife-wielding Morgan was committed to serve 40 years in a state psychiatric hospital, specifically the Winnebago Mental Health Institute in Oshkosh, Wisconsin, which is where both of the girls were actually sent when it came time to, be monitored.
Why would they put them together? That seems not smart.
This is where things get a bit interesting and moves into the territory of Morgan escaping and going missing for a time. In July of 2021, Anissa Weier was actually granted a conditional release from the state hospital after responding well to treatment. She's no longer believing in Slenderman, she's not psychotic or psychopathic, and has consistently expressed profound remorse for her part in the attack on Peyton. As a result of this, she was given a conditional release which allowed her to live with her father, though she was still under DHS supervision for a bit and had to wear a GPS monitor. As far as I'm aware, she hasn't caused any trouble since this. Morgan, seeing this, would also make efforts to get a conditional release of her own, but to put it lightly, it's been quite difficult for her to get one because, well, it seems that she still might be dangerous. Morgan's case is just far more complicated. While in custody, she was diagnosed with childhood onset schizophrenia and has reportedly suffered repeated flare-ups of psychosis since being committed. While she has expressed more consistent remorse about the attack on Peyton, that has only come in recent years when she's been trying to get a conditional release. We gotta note how violent her attack was, 19 stab wounds. That's going to be taken into account when we're talking about letting somebody off easier and putting them into a DHS supervision that's a step belower than a hospital. Other troubling developments include reports that allege Morgan has used the internet while in the psychiatric hospital and sent violent communications to an individual on the outside. Another report that I've seen from ABC News claims that Morgan was allegedly caught reading a book pertaining to sexual sadism while she was in the hospital. All of these potential issues were...
What does that even mean, bro? What is she reading? Court of Thorns and Roses? Where like the main protagonist just like looks at any male character and like bites her lip? Like that could be literally any fucking young adult novel nowadays.
Were discussed during Morgan's appeal for conditional release earlier this year, but despite the concerns levied, in July of 2025, Waukesha County Circuit Judge Scott Wagner approved a conditional release plan that would allow Morgan to serve her committance under more lenient terms. Though given Morgan's
Wait, so
past,
she got
her
it.
plan was a bit more stringent, at least compared to Anissa. In recent months, Morgan has been turned loose from the psych hospital and was allowed to live in a group home in Madison, Wisconsin. She was still under strict supervision though and had to wear a GPS ankle monitor. She lived here with other people in this halfway house setting. I've seen reports claim that she got there around October, but it could have been a bit sooner than that. Just know that she hasn't been there long. Now keep in mind, Morgan had to work extremely hard for years to get this conditional release.
Right.
Surely she won't screw this up or do anything insane, right?
Police in Wisconsin say a young woman at the center of the Slenderman stabbing case is now on the run.
On the evening of
That's
Saturday,
crazy,
November
bro.
22nd, Morgan went missing from her group home. Her ankle monitor was reportedly cut and she was seemingly on the run. The local police were notified early Sunday morning. Not long after, a surveillance photo reportedly showing Morgan was published by law enforcement, and curiously, she was with
The reading material that she's so focused on has themes of sexual sadism and murder and the sale of human organs on the black market. Deputy District Attorney Abby Nicoli argued. Like, okay, but whatever. I have no idea.
somebody. Now, this is quite the disturbing scenario, as it seems as though Morgan, with this action, is literally proving that she's not reformed. The moment they gave her just a
Wait,
little
go back.
with somebody, reportedly showing Morgan was published by law enforcement, and curiously, she was with somebody. Now, this is quite the disturbing scenario, as it seems as
Right.
though Morgan, with this action, is literally proving that she's not reformed. The moment they gave her just a little bit of slack, she ran off with some mysterious stranger, allegedly. And you know, you gotta wonder, like, is she going
Well,
to
in Vegas
commit
mention.
violence? I hate to even say it, but your mind can't help but go there.
Well, yeah,
I mean,
it's a fair assumption.
Dude, is she gonna go after Peyton again? Like, can you imagine
Yeah,
how unsettling it
imagine
was
that-
for
imagine
Peyton and
that
her
girl.
family
That'd be
to hear the
terrifying.
news of Morgan escaping like this? I mean, Jesus Christ. Now, I would be telling you all to keep an eye out and call 911 if you see Morgan, but thankfully, the manhunt issued for her has been proven successful. On the evening of November 23rd, Morgan was found by police in Posen, Illinois. She was found with a 42-year-old individual at a truck stop in the area. It appears the 42-year-old traveled with Morgan across state lines by bus. According to reports, police responded to a complaint regarding two people loitering behind the building. When cops arrived, they found Morgan and the 42-year-old sleeping on the sidewalk back there.
But what's the
Police alleged
connection?
that Morgan initially gave them a fake name, but when pressed, she admitted that she didn't want to tell them who she was because she had previously, quote, done something bad, unquote, and even suggested that they should, quote, just Google her. When found, both individuals were detained, and according to AP News, the 42-year-old has been charged with trespassing and obstructing identification. The two
But
apparently
what's the
described
connection?
themselves as being friends, but I really don't have enough information to elaborate any further on that piece. We don't know anything about why she did this or what her motives were, but something
seems
is very
crazy.
blatantly clear to me. Morgan is not reformed, she wasn't ready to be released from the psychiatric hospital, and the people who pushed for her conditional release might need to spend a day or two in the psych ward themselves. I mean, okay, like the last part's obviously a joke, but this is an embarrassing fuck up by the state. The judge is probably regretting his approval
almost
big time
immediately.
right now. You know, just in time to ruin Thanksgiving, I guess.
Almost immediately
Just
ruined the
wrapping up
controlled
here,
release.
I gotta
That's
say,
actually
I'm
wild.
so relieved they found Morgan as quickly as they did. It would have truly been terrifying having this girl on the run given her past. The fact that she skedaddled so quickly after just getting a
cannot just
small
throw
chance
skedaddle
of
in
freedom
there,
too
bro.
is what proves to me that
You
she's
just
still
can't
very
use
much
skedaddle
unhinged.
in this context like that.
Anyways,
That's
guys,
so
just
that's
wanted
so
to weigh
unserious.
in on this in a one-off update style video.
What an unserious word. Yeah, so that's what happened about a week ago. But we also have the body cam footage of that apprehension that he mentioned. So it's 25 minutes. I figured we could also just check it out and see how
Give me your name and date
how
of
it
birth.
went.
You're not wanted for murder, right? That was Slenderman Stabber Morgan Geyser trying to hide her identity from police after she
Unfortunate that
ran away
Morgan
from
Geyser
a group
is a
home.
cool ass name.
Please let her go.
Then
Please let her go.
Then give him your name.
I did something wrong.
What did you do?
She doesn't know what I did.
I have the body camera footage and new details about Geyser's arrest.
So sorry. I wish I had it.
I'm Anjanette Levy, and this is Crime Fix.
Huh?
Let me tell you something. If you think the crime stories we
Jump
cover
scare.
here are scary, wait until you hear what's happening with your personal data online. Your name, your phone number, even your address. It's all floating around the internet for data brokers to sell. Nice hearing.
Please,
and you
please.
Data. They had
I've already
police
given
found
that
use
QR
code
code enough
CrimeFix
screen
for
time.
60% off an annual plan.
Yay!
When police found Morgan Geyser at a truck
Yes, guys.
stop in Posen, Illinois on Sunday night, they had no idea who she was. Morgan Geyser was with a friend, a transgender woman, and they were apparently trying to make their way south. But Morgan's infamy and their lack of
Google search says that Morgan now identifies as a trans man using he/him pronouns, and the friend with him is also trans and uses she/her.
Okay, well, they clarified that that person was a trans woman, but nobody else is referring to that as such. Everybody seems pretty emphatic that Morgan is still identifying as a she in these videos, which is interesting. So where is that information being verified? Like, what's the verification for that? Like, guys, I understand why people misgender and misidentify. I'm saying, like, where are you learning that this is true? We're talking about a person who's been in a psychiatric facility for years. So how are you just Google searching this and that's just like, yeah, that's true. Where is your information from? Like, I'm not going to believe you right off the bat, just like I'm not going to believe the video or an AI or anything. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just like, according to a psychologist in the case, they began using he, him pronouns and a separate name during treatment. However, this hasn't been confirmed by them, and any name change hasn't been shared publicly. We're using their birth name and pronouns and birth pronouns to reflect court records. So they haven't even said it themselves? They haven't even publicly admitted to that at all. So, like, what? What are we doing, man? What are we doing? What are we doing? I don't even know where you're finding this. Like everybody's just quoting this same thing you're quoting. A random psychologist within the case claimed that they are referring to themselves as such, but then they're not doing it themselves at all. They haven't said anything. So what are we doing? Yeah, also psychologists can't just do that, by the way. They would get in massive trouble. The Wikipedia page refers to them as such, but that's probably because they're going off of that. What? Guys, I don't mean to sound insensitive here, but I don't really care. This person stabbed their friend 19 fucking times. I feel like there's a bigger piece to this case than getting... We're not really watching for that sort of point, are we? I mean, I get it, but like, we're not really here for that purpose. Like, it does happen and it's unfortunate. If it's true, then that's fine. I don't see how it's really relevant to what we're doing here. I also don't see how one random article quoting a psychologist who's not named, who's breaking HIPAA by saying anything like that, let alone case integrity by saying anything like that, as verifiable. That's not verifiable information. They also just haven't said anything about it themselves. Exactly why I don't feel like it's even further from like I believe it, because they haven't even said anything. So like, what do we do? They stabbed somebody 19 times. Can we just like that, not whatever we're doing here, right? Is that cool? Can we just watch like them being apprehended because they escaped? And we could kind of be like, it may or may not be true, who really, you know, maybe they can go on the record when this becomes a contentious topic. Who knows? They're free to explain themselves. Okay. I'm just going to like not care whatever way it is until otherwise information is given. Okay.
He was. Morgan Geyser was with a friend, a trans.
I understand that it's like important in a lot of ways for people. I understand why it might be important for some of you. I don't feel like it's necessarily relevant to this. In fact, the argument is how it's frustrating for a lot of you, why people feel like it's relevant. So it's kind of like you're bringing it up when it's not relevant, which is sort of what people are also doing, which is what's frustrating you, is it's being brought up. But like, it's not even a point or a factor in this problem, nor the crime, nor the escape. So like, why are we even... I understand respect is important. I would never want to directly disrespect somebody, but also like the need to focus on such also pushes the narrative towards that topic, which is what people get frustrated about in the first place, correct? where like the discussion of transgender identity within crimes and especially violent crimes is very exhaustive and annoying because people like to attribute that sort of stuff to transgender people for basically no reason, because there's a giant disparity in crime when it comes to whether or not trans people did it or not. Fun fact, they really don't. It's a very small portion of people. It's almost like it's like not relevant whatsoever. Okay. So I feel like the push or the need to like clarify sort of puts that into the conversation, even if it's by good intention. Correct? I'm happy to be wrong here, but I feel like the need to bring this in sort of creates a cloud into that narrative, even if it's not intentional and with good reasons. I'm happy to discuss it. I just, you know, it's totally fine. Like, I understand. Like, once again, I don't think you're doing it. You and anybody else who's brought it up or is concerned about it, I'm sure you're not like sitting there going, got you, you're in trouble, or the last person's video is in trouble, or this woman's in trouble, right? Like, you're just, you have a good reason to bring it up. You care and it's important to you, and that's fine. I think when it comes to stuff like crime is not like gendered, right? There are statistics within gender and crime. Ultimately, there's really not a whole lot of disparity in terms of where it's consistent or relevant, besides maybe suspect to victim. And like, it sucks to be concerned and bring it up because, like, once again, and this is a very nuanced thing, and I don't know if everybody's going to love my dismissal, I guess, in a way, because people are going to take this as face value of me not wanting to discuss it, but that's not the case. I feel like bringing up that discussion within it causes that dialogue that people hate, where they get extremely weird about trans people in crime. And then your genuine need to bring it up out of respect accidentally puts that sort of conversation into the forefront. And you shouldn't feel bad nor not want to do it. I just want you to understand, like, what that might accidentally do. Also, like, once again, I think this person stabbed somebody 19 times at the age of 12. I don't think that, like, no disrespect, but I don't feel like it's really the priority nor the focus of what's going on here. If that's a fair thing to say. I don't want to be, like, rude in any regard, but I do feel like there's bigger, like, I hit the mic. There's like a whole bigger thing going on here, right? So let's continue. All right.
Gender woman, and they were apparently trying to make their way south. But Morgan's infamy and their lack of cash became a big stumbling block. Morgan Geyser is, of course, one half of the Slenderman stabbing duo. She and a friend, Anissa Wire, lured their friend, Peyton Leutner, to a park in Waukesha, Wisconsin in 2014 and stabbed her, nearly killing her, to impress a non-existent internet character known as Slenderman. Thank goodness
he's real to me.
Peyton survived. It took several years, but Morgan and Anissa were determined to be not guilty by reason of mental disease or defect. Anissa was later released to the custody of her father and placed on GPS monitoring. Morgan, despite objections from prosecutors, was granted conditional release by a judge earlier this year. She was supposed to spend 40 years in a psychiatric facility. She was placed in a group home in the last couple of months on GPS monitoring in Madison, Wisconsin, until police said she cut off her ankle bracelet on Saturday night and took off. An alert was issued. And
like, kind of, once again, like, kind of what I'm bringing up, where it's like there's this need to bring it up because this sort of person who's going through this very brave thing, like transitioning, is a conversation piece, especially to media outlets. So there is this need to bring it up, which is frustrating in a lot of ways because it perpetuates this stereotype or this need for people to think there's violence within this community and stuff like that. There's this perpetuation of discussing it or bringing it up when it's even involved, despite minimal involvement in the actual crime, let alone any relevance. Like, if I'm not mistaken, wasn't the dude who shot Charlie Kirk dating or living with somebody who was trans? They really loved to bring that up when it happened. It really doesn't change the fact that that dude shot him, does it? But it is like they feel the need to bring that up. Then not even get confirmed. Even worse, even worse, that it was perpetuated within media without even being proven for sure or not. That's like, you're right. It's the exactly what we were talking about, where it's like, I feel like, unfortunately, what sucks is like the need for justice and respect of like a person's identity and stuff creates this paradox of like, well, you also like feed into all these fucking idiots who just feel like it's completely necessary to bring it up and that it's a relevant point within a crime when ultimately the person didn't do anything that has anything to do with this besides just like be with them. And we don't even know like what the purpose or relevancy for them being with them was. Sounds like they didn't even know who they were. And ultimately, we're talking about a person who stabbed their friend 19 times at the age of 12. So it really doesn't have any weight within the topic. And it's brought up anyway. So yeah, I understand what you're saying. It's frustrating. But once again, it's a spectacle to people, especially people with minimal exposure or involvement within the transgender community. So it grabs people positively or negatively, which sucks. I don't really have like an endpoint to that. It's just sort of what happens with media. I would just wish they just kind of didn't talk about it because it doesn't fucking matter here, but it's whatever. I don't know. I can't really do anything about it. Just like crime is crime, dude. It has nothing to do with it.
An employee at a Thornton's truck stop more than 100 miles away called police Sunday night because there were two people loitering outside. A police officer found these two people in a pile outside of the truck stop. Take a look.
Hey, guys. Guys.
Doesn't seem like a great spot to sleep.
Hey. You guys. Okay, unfortunately, you guys can't be back here.
I'm sorry. Right now.
I believe that Robbins Police Department, you're able to sleep in their lobby.
No, we're fine. We'll just move around.
What was that?
We'll just move around.
Okay. Thank you. I appreciate that. Sorry to bother you guys.
It's okay.
I appreciate you guys being understanding.
Thank you so much.
Now, the woman who worked at the truck stop, she was very kind but concerned.
Yeah, I had called to see. Yeah, I didn't know what to do. Like, I fed them. So I was calling to see, can they get somewhere for the night?
Yeah, and the thing is, there ain't a lot of shelters. That's what's crazy.
It's not like they didn't want to do anything to them or bother them at all. They just said to leave.
I'm out for the food. But I couldn't leave them out here. So I was like, I didn't know what to do. So I was like, just let me call and see y'all or something.
Where you guys from?
We're from south.
South? Like how far?
Not that far. We're not living anywhere. We'll be fine tonight.
Okay, I just want to make sure you guys are warm.
we're fine.
You sure?
I appreciate it.
No problem. I just want to make sure you guys have someone place to want to stay.
No, we're always close.
How old are you?
I'm 23.
23?
Yeah.
How old is he?
She's transgender. She's
Oh, how old is she? 23? Okay.
I don't have my ID, but
All right, well, give him your name and date of birth, because we just got to make sure you're saying who you are, you say you are, okay? You're not missing them.
Saying who you are, you say you are.
No problem. Thank you for calling.
Okay, what's your last name?
I don't know why I have to do this.
You don't.
Because I don't believe you're 23. That's why. Okay? We got called here for a call. So, just be honest. I want to make sure that you're not missing. As long as you're not missing.
You don't until they say you're detained, really.
Are you missing from somewhere? Just give me your name and date of birth and you can be on your way.
Okay, I'm 19.
Huh?
I'm 19.
19?
Yeah.
It's fine. You're still an adult. So,
Yeah, so what's your last name? No, what?
I don't want to give you my name.
okay, well, then we're going to arrest you. We're going to take you an ID. We're going to hold you an ID at the station. So, you don't want to obstruct an officer. Give me your name and date of birth. You're not wanted for murder, right?
Right.
Okay, then there shouldn't be any problem.
Okay, you're making it bigger.
What's your last name?
And they do that? I mean, yeah. Kind of, I mean, they're asking them questions and they're not cooperating. And they kind of already said the reason for that. They kind of gave them like the reason that they're wanting to question them, and then they're acting suspicious. Like, I get where this is escalating. I mean, the cops can ask them anything. And they can absolutely arrest them if they don't cooperate, because that can be seen as suspicion. Now, I don't know if they'd be able to hold them for much long or over the 24-hour period. I mean, they probably would, given who they are. But if this was like a normal case, like, they might just have to let them go eventually, because they wouldn't have anything to go off of or any crime to give them besides maybe loitering, which isn't, much of anything. So, there's plenty to go off of and plenty to brush off here is the thing.
Greece.
How do you spell it?
I-E-S.
I-E-S?
No, G-R-I-E-S.
Okay. G-R-I-E-S. What's your first name?
Stephanie.
Morgan goes on to give a fake name to police, but kind of stumbles through her lies.
How do you spell it?
E-P-H-I-N-E.
E-P-H-I...
A-N-I-E, sorry.
A-N-I-E. Middle initial?
I don't know.
Do you have a middle initial?
Well, now you did something wrong, because it's come back no record on files, and that means you're lying to us about your name. Okay? So now that's obstructing. I'm going to give you one more chance before we're going to take you in custody and fingerprint you. Okay? So just be honest. It's not a big deal. You're making it a bigger deal.
So, Stephanie...
Give me your real name. Okay? Because if he comes back, no record on file also, which I hope he doesn't, because that means both of you are lying, I'm going to take you both in for fingerprints. Okay? Don't make us do all that. We just want to send you on your way. No, you can't. You guys wanted for something? Why are you hiding your name? I don't understand.
But you didn't come back to anything either. Even out of Wisconsin.
I just don't want my identity out.
Okay.
It's just personal preference.
Okay. You can have that preference, but we're going to have that preference of taking you in and fingerprinting you. Okay? That's what we're gonna do.
Yeah, that was low-key misgendered.
Yeah,
I wonder
give
if
us the
that's
right
the
name,
same
date of
cop
birth,
that
and then we can go on our way.
they clarified that too.
We don't want to
that's
mess with you.
unfortunate,
We don't want to take you into fingerprinting. But if that's what I have to do, I have to make sure you're not wanted for anything, no homicides or anything like that. That's it.
I can promise you
Okay.
that much, and I know
I don't know you and you don't know me.
I know.
Okay. So
Just gotta identify
give your
who you are,
names.
that's it.
Make sure you ain't wanted for no
Yeah,
warrants,
unfortunate.
and then you're
Okay.
good.
They,
Stephanie. One last.
I mean, I imagine it's a situation where they might not have had anything changed legally, and they don't want to use their like dead name or anything like that. You know what I mean? So, I mean, that would probably suck.
Chance.
But also, like, yeah, the police do need to identify you because you are doing something illegal, which they probably don't. Ultimately, they wouldn't probably care about. They'd probably like let them go if there were any other people here. But yeah, they kind of just need to know to like be like, okay, you're good, because once again, they need to make sure they're not, I don't know, a person who escaped the mental facility because they were guilty of stabbing their friend 19 times because a video game character told them. But that would be crazy, right? Like that would, how do they check that? There's databases of everybody. How quick is it? Like they gave the names. He walked to his car, typed them in, and it said nothing. So like seconds, like minutes. So it's in their computer. Police have a monitor within their car, like on the passenger side. So they end up being able to like search things like that pretty instantaneously. Cop Google, essentially. You know, less Grok and ChatGPT, more like huge database of information given to them by facilities and hospitals and companies in order to maintain like justice in whatever regard the cop sees that as. But generalizing way, yeah, he had Cop Google.
So you broke the Illinois compiled statute of obstruction identification at this moment, which is a Class A misdemeanor. That's a arrestable offense. Therefore, you can be placed under arrest for that, both of you, because you lied and you lied. You didn't give me your real name.
And we got dispatched here because you guys are loitering in the back of the business. It's not like we approached you guys.
There's no loitering. Okay.
I'm sorry.
Okay. So it's not a big deal. What is your name? Don't make us arrest you and do all this extra stuff that we don't need to do.
We have other stuff to worry about.
I know. We got way more serious things to worry about than this. Like we got called here. It ain't like we just walked up and started messing with you.
Now, these officers have told Morgan Geyser and her friend over and over again, just give us your names.
Yeah,
this is pretty standard stuff.
Unfortunately,
They
you don't have
to check
anything
for
better to
warrants.
do.
Then the cops turn up the heat.
Her thing. At this point, we're just going to detain him. Detain her.
Please let her go.
Then
Please let her go.
Then give him your name.
I did something wrong.
What did you do?
She doesn't know what I did.
Okay, that's fine. I ain't.
Let me talk to you over here. Okay, I'll look at it.
What is it that you did wrong?
I did something really wrong.
Now, this friend must mean a lot to Morgan because she reveals her identity in this exchange for their freedom. But one officer doesn't quite let them off the hook.
Well, that doesn't
just
happen.
Yet.
We have to identify you. Okay, whether you agree or disagree with that, that just plays no fact into it, okay? The law is very clear. You have to provide your information. And I'm pretty sure you're a smart person, so you understand that, okay? Now, I ain't trying to have you in our station for 4 or 5 days, maybe even a week, until your prints come back.
I know.
Okay?
I know.
Unless that's what you want to do. So,
I know.
but you didn't give me your real information. I don't care about her. And
Illinois
I'm dealing with you, okay?
I can't.
You can't give me your information?
9 a.m. or 9 p.m.
Why?
Gotta be cold.
Why can't you give me your information? What's wrong with that?
I just can't.
She doesn't know my real name.
Okay. Well, give him your real name. Don't tell him.
Okay.
What's your last name?
So he says he just can't give you the information.
Okay, so it's Morgan.
Morgan.
And then your last name?
G-E-Y-S-E-R.
G-U... What is it?
G-E-Y-S-E-R. I promise she did not know.
G-E-Y-S...
E-R.
Okay, get all that.
So Morgan is your first name, right?
Yes.
G-E-Y-S-E-R.
No.
Let me say goodbye, please.
Okay, we will.
I will never see her again.
Yeah, you will.
No, I won't.
304.
Why?
Because I did something bad. Let me say goodbye.
We will let you say goodbye, but just stand by until we fight and figure out what's wrong. Okay?
You
I
promise.
promise. I'll let you say goodbye.
No matter what I did?
Yeah, no matter.
Last name.
That's my word, okay? Okay? You're being honest with me.
I'm being honest. That's my name. Trust me, I didn't want to give it to you.
Okay.
You'll see why in a second. But she didn't know my name.
And then they move in for the arrest.
Go ahead and put your hand in.
You said I could say
I will
goodbye.
let you. You guys going to the same place, okay?
Okay. I promise she didn't know.
Okay.
This is fascinating to me.
Here, just go over there.
You promised I could say goodbye.
Yeah, you guys are going to the same station. You guys are going to the same place. Okay, we know you're not giving us your real information.
Yeah.
Whoa 63 money smile.
So why are they saying that there's nothing on record with that name?
It's me.
Wait, with her actual name? Brother, unlock your car, dude. Let us... Yo. Big back check. Tropical Starburst. Maybe not tropical. It is Starburst, though. Low key. No, it's not tropical. Big back check failed. It is the Favor Reds, though. But he thinks he's slick. But he thinks I didn't see that. Hand me one. Give me one of those pink ones, bro. Give me the red ones. They're tangy. I like them tangy Starbursts.
My fingerprints will pop up.
Your what?
My fingerprints.
Don't worry, guys. I'm on it.
Look awful?
Will pop up.
Side quest.
Oh, okay.
Fingerprint me in.
Yeah, bro. Get that XP in.
And you're
Mad
telling me
efficient.
that your information that you gave me will come back to those fingerprints?
Yes.
Okay.
Even with Morgan in the back of the patrol car, officers still aren't aware of what really bad thing she did.
That's crazy to me.
Really, really bad. So, only really thing bad is you'll never see me again is I hope she didn't commit a homicide.
Well, she didn't. She definitely tried to, but you see, the funny thing is, technically, no.
That's really, really bad.
Yeah. Well, these officers, they are in for quite a surprise, aren't they? So back to Morgan's friend.
Yeah.
She's loaded into a cruiser.
Thank you for at least letting me be in the car and warm.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, W.
No, thank you.
I told my buddy to go get you guys your meals, prisoner meal, okay?
What?
Some Wendy's.
Okay.
I told him to get you some Wendy's so you can eat something.
Yo.
Thank you.
All right?
Appreciate it.
Wait. W? Bro, Wendy's at like 10 p.m.? That's got to slap. I mean, tough situation, but that would slap.
We really do just want to be on our way, and we're sorry to have caused trouble.
Yeah, do you think she gets a Frosty
I
or
just gotta find
no?
out who you are, and then you'll be on your way.
Definitely not.
The lying to the police is not good. You can't do that. I gave you guys plenty of time to just give me your name or get on your way. I mean, I could even try to find you guys somewhere to go.
How do we go from prisoner food to Wendy's, bro?
It's not that simple.
Rough me up, brother.
Sorry, but it's just not that simple.
I'll take a spicy 4 count, thank you.
I wish it was.
Morgan's friend was right. It definitely was not simple. A police report states, Officer Whiting then asked the male White for his information once again, to which he stated that his identification was in his book bag.
Brother,
I located a Wisconsin
you had so many
identification
opportunities
for
to know.
Chad Mecca after a subsequent leads check on his identification. It showed him to be clear
Bonehead
and valid
cop.
out of Madison, Wisconsin. Chad was then Mirandized at 1:38 hours, to which he waived his rights and decided to speak to us. When asked where both of them came from, he stated from Wisconsin and that Chad met Morgan a couple of months ago through Good Shepherd Church. Chad then stated that he did not like how Morgan was treated at her
Through
group home
church?
where she resided. Chad also stated that they denied him visitation time with Morgan at the group home. Due to her being mistreated at the group home and him not being able to visit her, they both decided to run away from the group home. Chad stated they used public transportation, a Greyhound bus, to get from Wisconsin to Chicago. From Chicago, they both walked to the south side of Chicago, and that is when they took a Pace bus to Posen, where they ran out of money. Once in Posen,
The dead naming? Well, okay. So, not defending here because this dude's a fucking idiot. If this is one of the reporting officers, they had plenty of chances to be correct. But I will say that if this person doesn't have any legal documentation of their changes, especially to their name, they have to put their legal name on record. Like, this is straight from a legal documentation. I'm assuming, most likely based off the way it's written, where the names are like capitalized and like emphasized, etc., for like summarization. It does suck. I agree. But I will say that if this person didn't have any sort of legal change to their identity, like, within a police report, they have to go by whatever is legally their name. So I understand the frustration, but just so you know, like, even if this dude was actually were a respectful one of them, which I don't know, they have to go by like what is legally listed. It sucks, but it's context, I guess. Do with it what you will. I'm not saying it's okay.
they stopped at the Thorntons and took a nap behind the building, and that is when Posen officers made contact with Chad and Morgan. Chad Mecca is a transgender woman, as I mentioned earlier, who uses the name Charlie. These are photos of Charlie at the police department. She was cited for criminal trespassing and obstructing identification. She told a local news outlet that Morgan Geyser is her best friend. Morgan Geyser was loaded into that cruiser, as you saw, for the ride to the Posen Police Department. Morgan was photographed at the police department where she agreed to speak with the officers. A police report states Morgan stated that she met Chad a couple of months ago at Good Shepherd Church. She then expressed how unfair she was treated at the group home and how she was upset that Chad was not allowed to visit her. Morgan stated that on multiple occasions, Chad visited her at the group home by climbing through her window and sneaking in. When asked about her ankle monitor, she stated that she cut it off with scissors and that she and Chad had discussed potentially making their way to Nashville, Tennessee. When asked how they got to Posen, Morgan stated that they took the Greyhound bus from Wisconsin to be here. Morgan was then taken to the courthouse in Markham for processing, where she appeared to regret her decision to leave the group home.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
I guarantee you.
I'm sorry.
Because they probably ruined any of the controlled release they got. They like just got leniency in the release, and now it's like They're not getting any of that ever again. I got to spend 30 more years in that very restrictive outcome.
Sorry. I'm so sorry.
No, her friend wasn't in the group home. They said that she would sneak into the window to visit her.
God, I'm so sorry.
Are they just parked in the precinct right now? This is like awkward. I feel like I shouldn't.
I'm so sorry. It's for the blessings you gave me. I'm so sorry. I wish I had it.
This is crazy, given the lack of any remorse when they stabbed their friend 19 times at the age of 12. So, I don't exactly feel much
Morgan
sympathy
was booked
here.
into the Cook County Jail and appeared in court Tuesday for an extradition hearing where she waived extradition back to Wisconsin. So I'd like to bring in Chief William Alexander. He is the
Jump
police
scare.
chief in Posen, Illinois, where Morgan Geyser was taken into custody. Chief, what did you think?
You're
when you
reflecting
got the
better than your
call
badge.
that Morgan Geyser, somebody who was wanted for escaping out of Wisconsin, had been taken into custody in your town?
Initially, I didn't know who they were referring to until they said the Slenderman. I remember that case from years ago, but I was a little confused as to what was going on because I didn't know that she had escaped from Wisconsin. So after doing a little Googling myself, I realized who we had in custody.
So it sounds like she was trying to obviously hide her identity. This is somebody who, it appears, did not want to be in a group home in Madison, Wisconsin any longer. And from what we're hearing, from what your
Yeah, that sounds
officers
terrible.
posted or you posted on your Facebook page, she gave a fake name.
Correct. She gave a
Almost
fake
like the
name,
insanity
and that
plea
information
isn't
didn't come back
a
correctly. The officer
get out of jail
put up a
free
red
card.
flag for
It's
the officer.
arguably almost a
The,
worse
the
thing
somebody
to have
she was
happen.
with gave a fake name as well. So that's when the officers pushed a little further, and she made a spontaneous statement she was fearful of giving her correct name because she had done something really bad. So the officer pressed a little further, and ultimately she gave the officer her name and says, "You can Google my name and you'll know who I am."
About
Not
how
gonna
long
lie,
did it
that's
take for her
cold.
to give her real name?
That's kind of aura. Objectively, that's aura. Yeah, you can Google me. Bad situation to use it. Kind of aura, though. Yeah, you can find me out. Just Google it. I guess I could do that. That's kind of cool. In the wrong situation, though, you're a douchebag. In this situation, you can Google me. Not like she's trying to skip the line at a bar. It'd be cringe if I did it.
It was a little back and forth, maybe 3-4 minutes between them going back and forth with the fake name and her finally giving her correct name.
What were you guys shocked though when you realized, wow, this is a girl who committed a pretty heinous crime?
Yeah,
she's not a girl anymore. She's a young woman now, but she was a girl when this happened.
Correct. Like I said, I had to do a little Googling myself, and once I looked up the case and started reading a little bit more into it, I was very
Do a little bit of Googling myself.
What happened when your officers took her into custody?
Well, they took her into custody without incident. After that, there was no fight or yelling or anything like of the sort. They took her into custody without incident, and the male counterpart that was with her.
How long ago was this? Last week.
He was ultimately charged with criminal trespass and obstructing identification for giving us a fake name. We didn't charge her with any local charges because that just muddies the water for the extradition hearing. So we just charged her with a warrant, and she was transported to the Cook County Courthouse in Markham, where she'll either tonight or tomorrow morning be transported to Cook, 26 in California. Cook
No,
County
they did
Jail,
not
where
escape
she'll
in
have an
October.
extradition hearing back to Wisconsin.
What are you guys used to dealing with? I mean, obviously
They
anything can
escaped and
happen
were caught a day
anywhere,
later.
but do you get a lot of high-profile stuff in Posen?
I would say high profile. I mean, we have our share of crimes and people passing through here. We make pretty serious arrests on a daily.
No, I don't
basis,
think
but,
they charged her
nothing
with
of this
obstruction for
magnitude with
giving
this
her
much
preferred
publicity
name.
behind it.
I think
Sure.
she was refusing to give a name, period.
So she makes no attempt to resist or anything like that. You take her into custody without incident. Obviously, her presence there, along with the person she was with, it was causing some concern because somebody called from the truck stop to report that these people were there.
Yeah,
Well,
that's
she
why
might
we
have given her
rolled
fake
up
name at some
on them. They were
point, but
sleeping on the
if you
ground,
watch in the footage,
near the
she
rear of the
refused
truck
to give
stop.
any name,
And they had various
which
bags
is
around
the
them containing clothing and things
crime
like
that
So
they're
just
were given.
looked out of place and it wasn't good for business, so they called our officers to have them removed.
Interesting.
Yeah. Also, they
do you
can't
think that
like
this
if once again, yeah,
process
like
will
I
take-
said earlier with like the report and stuff. If there's no legal information or like verification of that name change, they can't verify their identity with that. As unfortunate as that can be and as awkward as the situation might become, especially for the transgender person, that's unfortunately like legally what has to be done, which is awkward. And I'm sure some of you have dealt with that. I've had people who have helped me in the past who I've paid, whose PayPal is like a name that they don't prefer because they can't get it changed yet. And like, I understand that. I don't look at it. I understand that's awkward. That's unfortunate. But if you can't like legally change it yet or haven't, like it ends up making this awkward nuance where it's like, well, yeah, that's not your name or your preferred name at all, but it's still legally your name, and because you're either going through the process or haven't, all sorts of shit. I imagine that sucks, and I imagine that makes stuff like this extremely awkward. I don't know what else to add to that. It's just an unfortunate scenario for sure.
A long time because she could waive extradition pretty quickly.
If she waives
and be
extradition,
on her
it'll
way back to
happen pretty
Wisconsin.
quickly.
I'm sorry.
I said if she waives extradition, it'll happen pretty quickly.
Is there anything else you would like to add about somebody like this kind of ending up in your town?
It just goes to show you never know what you're going to run into on a day-to-day basis as being a law enforcement officer. I preach that to my guys every day, and I'm extremely proud of them for the extra work they put into this and paying attention to the red flags and push a little further to find out her correct identity so we could get her back into custody.
Yeah, because they could have probably, if they really wanted to, just said, okay,
Yeah, now I'm thinking about Wendy's,
Right, it's a
bro.
loitering call. They're just sitting on the ground. You're laying on the ground.
It sounded like originally they did just kind of tell them to scram.
The officers noticed something wasn't right with the names that they gave and pushed a little
Dude,
further.
I could really, I would love Dave.
Well, thank you so
right now.
much,
Dave sounds
Chief.
really
We really
good.
appreciate your time.
I would eat the hell out of Dave right
thank you for
now.
having me.
Dave's double.
When Morgan Geyser returns to Wisconsin,
Oh, a biggie bag is calling my name.
the state's Department of Health Services could file a petition to revoke her conditional release.
That $4
The
biggie bag.
prosecutors
Oh
in
my
Waukesha
God.
County have said they would support that petition if it's filed. So stay tuned for more on this. That's it for this episode of Crime Fix. I'm Anjanette Levy. Thanks so much for being with me. I'll see you back here next time.
Sorry, I like food. Sorry. My stupid ass is inert and loves eating disgusting shit, so no wonder I'm almost 300. Anyway, interesting one. Once again, I understand there's a lot of unfortunate circumstances surrounding the second suspect's like identification and stuff. And apparently there's some uncertainty to Morgan's identification, according to some random psychologist who didn't credit themselves nor give direct evidence of such, and neither has Morgan. I understand. It is like an unfortunate sort of deal. I don't want, once again, I don't mean no disrespect in terms of that conversation. I hope most of you or the viewers didn't take it as such. I just think it's important to sort of bring up that, like, when a topic like that is brought up with good faith, it unfortunately perpetuates that bad faith argument that a lot of people love to also bring up and try to use as a way to demonize transgender people, especially. So, while being respectful and getting the correct identification is great and awesome, trying to overshadow the entire thing we're watching in purpose because of the misunderstanding is sort of like, you kind of are also putting the fact that that person's transgender in the forefront of the conversation, rather than the fact that, like, this is the person who stabbed her friend 19 times at the age of 12. So, you know, it's, how do you respect the person and what's legally required? Yeah. Well, that's the problem. How do you, as a police officer, respect Charlie when they're legally still their previous identity? Like, realistically, that cop is put in a bad position because they can't. Because within the police reports and their documentation, they'll have to put in what's legally put there. And if Charlie doesn't have anything legally done, and I imagine they didn't, they have to put every single thing that Charlie doesn't want to be referred to as or remembered as, just because that's what's legally required of him, the police officer. Like, because in a respectful and regular conversation, using the preferred stuff like that is great and obviously expected and appreciated. But, like, if the cop starts using that instead of what's legally on paper, it creates this sort of like, what, who the fuck, what do you mean? When did this happen? Who are we talking about? Because there's nothing legally for the police to go off of, which sucks. But that's also why there's like a legal procedure, I guess. I don't know the full, like, step-by-step process. I understand some of you might, but yeah, like, that does create a really awkward situation for, obviously, the transgender person in whatever way they're involved and whatever hypothetical we come up with, but also, like, the police officer, understandably, because it's like, well, that officer is going to have to take the entire case potentially misgendering that person, because if they don't have anything legally done to correct their identification, that cop has to go by their legal identification. Otherwise, it creates a whole type of shitstorm that isn't going to make any sense at all, which does suck. But yeah, I don't know. It's kind of like a, what do you do? I guess people are free to talk about it more. But yeah, it's just one of those things where it's like, well, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say about it. I mean, I guess I feel like I said my piece about it. Like, once again, I hope nobody is, like, upset about my comments. I'm not trying to, like, be upsetting or disrespectful, but I just, as a person who understands the legal parameters that police have to go off of and the way they have to document things, like, that is a tough position for both parties. So I hope we can sort of look past it a little bit in this circumstance. Obviously, in normal circumstances, it's not as understandable and it's way more upsetting. But yeah. All right, let's watch another thing.